Hello, friends. This is Alia Jamal, the Love Coach, and we are meeting for another Love Circle. And today we are talking about connecting with your infinite power. Now, this is one of those things that you might have heard about it, you might be working on it, but what I'm going to do is pinpoint it, extract it, put it in front of you, so there is a easier way for you to connect with it. So first, let's dig into what is power. When we hear the word power, most of the time we think about um, overpowering other people or abusing our power. So, power does have a little bit of a negative connotation most of the time in our mind. Well, we are talking about your inner power. When you have had a difficult day or you've been running around and doing a lot of things, and the end of the day, you're so exhausted and you're like, I have nothing left in me to offer energy that you're talking about, that is also your power. So let's say when you're really tired and someone say, "Hey, would you like to make this big decision right now?" You can't even get yourself to make that decision. If you are waking up early in the morning and someone is asking you to make a decision, depending on where you are in that journey, you might be able to, you might not be able to. So we go from a spectrum of feeling powerful, feeling energetic, but there is another way of existing where there's no limitation. That is the thread I'm going to share with you. There's no limitations. There's infinite power that you have available. Yeah, maybe like, after a 10-hour hike, your body will be exhausted, so, but when we do have a deeper connection with that inner power, we can actually override our body consciousness. So now that is a little bit of an advanced concept. I'm going to put disclaimer right here. If you have not built a foundation of a healthy relationship with yourself, you're not nurturing yourself, you're not in a deeper relationship with yourself where you hear yourself, please do not use this advice, what I'm about to share, overriding your body consciousness, because first we need to get in touch with our body consciousness, what your body is saying, what your body wants you to do. Listen to it. Once the relationship gets stronger, and then you want to go to the infinite power level, that is when you start overriding. So for example, let's say when we go through this, and let's say you have worked on yourself and you are at a level where you can embody what I'm about to share, you'll get home. You'll be so exhausted, you'll be so tired, and maybe there's a need for you or something, and someone needs your help, someone wants you to go somewhere with them, and you're like, I don't want to go anywhere. There is a way you can overcome that body consciousness, you can tap into that infinite power, and you can do whatever needs to be done without feeling exhausted, without hustling, without pushing yourself. That is one thing. The second thing is the psychological aspect of it. If you might have heard this thing, people say, I have decision fatigue. I don't even ask me any more question. I can't handle one more this or that. They feel mentally exhausted. That is also a situation of a person who's not connected with their infinite power. When we are connected with our infinite power, we can keep going on making as many decisions we need, again, given you are getting enough sleep. I'm not talking about you're one of those people who stay up 72 hours and you're like, I have infinite power and I can tap into that. We exist in a human body. There are certain limitations of human body. So it's very important for us to understand, if we want to get to that infinite level, we understand, how does this body work? How this big machinery where our soul is trapped in right now, or choose to be, live through right now, how does this work? And what is the connection between the body and the soul, and how can soul be in control at all time? So that is what this whole concept of connecting with your infinite power is about, because your infinite power comes from your non-physical self, which is your soul self, which is your true self, where I am exist. So when you when I will invite you to think about your own life right now. When you think about like, I want to connect with my infinite power within me, what comes to you? What is it that you want to do, which you feel like you're not able to do, and you want more juice to be able to do that? What your inner power gives you is your ability to act and your motivation to move forward. So I'm going to use a little bit of a psychological example over here. Let's say you're somebody who's stuck in a terrible relationship. You know it's not good for you. You know it's not good for the other person, but you just can't get yourself out of it. What that person is lacking is a connection with their infinite power. They don't feel powerful enough to make that decision. Same thing if a person is stuck in a job. They don't they don't feel powerful enough to make the decision to quit, knowing that they will be able to create something else. So they are either looking for someone else to come save them, or they're just waiting for the other shoe to drop, and then they will have no other choice but to look for another another position. Those are all the places where wherever you get stuck, there is a disconnect with your inner power. And there's some very simple things that you can do to kind of like put the switch back together and have an infinite flow of that power. The easiest way to witness it at play is watch kids. They have no hesitation in saying what they want to say, what they are feeling. They live in their truth. They are not hiding. They're not manipulating, of course, unless there is some kind of trauma in their background. They have infinite energy to play. We as an adult can also live like that if we choose to connect with our infinite power within us. Um, Power is a feeling. It's what you feel inside of you. It's not really a thing that you can touch. It's something that you feel. You feel it in your whole body. You feel it in your hands, you feel it in your legs, you feel it in your stomach. So when you have that feeling of I am stuck, I am powerless, this thing in front of me is bigger than me, that is when you are disconnected with the power. And I will share with you 3 different ways you can reconnect with that. It's not that we have always been disconnected. No, we go through certain situations in our life where either we forgot to stay in touch with ourselves or something so massive happened that, that disconnect happened. And then we can take it a notch further and we can go to that level of connecting with your infinite power. So before we get into the mechanism of it, we want to understand why do I want to connect with my infinite power? Why do I even want to understand this whole power concept within me? Think of it as a ball of energy. If you don't have your power, someone else have it or something else have it. Can you recall a moment where you felt overpowered by another human? It could be a spouse, it could be a family member, it could be your parent, it could be a supervisor at work or your manager, your boss, whatever the name. It could be a cop, it could be a judge. Did you ever feel overpowered by someone else? In that moment, the ball of energy was with them, not with you. When you learn to connect with your infinite power within, you get to keep that energy. That is why it's very important for us to learn these inner skills to be familiar with our inner world, because you get to keep that energy within you. And why it's important to keep that energy within you. If you want to live as your true self, if you want to live as your true potential, if you feel that there's something within me that wants to come out, the only way through is when you're connected with that power within you. If you're still depending on energy from someone else, what someone else is thinking of you, whether someone else is validating you, if you're still thinking all that, if you're living outward, not inward, you're not going to live your full potential. You might come up with a big, organization. You might come up with something that is benefiting a lot of people, and you might just be hung up on, am I doing this okay? Does this look okay? Does this needs to be, perfected or not? Am I like, you'll be consistently judging, second guessing, um, fearing, what if all this collapse? And all that will happen within you. Outside of you, people will be like, oh my God, look at her or look at him, how accomplished they are. Within you, you're just hustling. You're just pushing yourself. You're not realizing the deeper power that is within you. You can create something without feeling paralyzed by the process of creating it. So that is the difference. In that way, the power has to be with you. Now, let's get into the three different aspects we can create it. The first one, I'm going to talk about the inner power from three aspects: physiological, our body; psychological, our mind; and spiritual, which is purely the soul level. And that is where everything comes together. In terms of your physical body, if we think of like, where the switch gets plugged in, it's your navel. When your navel, in terms of its energy, is strong, you feel powerful. You feel, I can make anything happen. I can do anything. So if right now you do have some kind of situation going on with your digestion system, your navel is not strong. If you got those flabby tummy things, that is again like, that navel is not very strong. It's very possible that you do have like, a lot of jiggle going on. Like me, you're a mom, and that is what's going on. It's very possible to have that, but have a good digestive system at the same time and feeling I can make something happen. Or what you would be doing, you'll be just purely pushing yourself, guilt tripping yourself, judging yourself, telling yourself, if I don't do it, who's going to feed my kids? So that is where most of us live. But look at your digestive system. Is it perfect or close to perfect or 80% perfect? Wonderful. Then the next thing would be working on your abs. Are they soft? Are they tight? Are you doing something with them? Are you just leaving them alone? Because what that does, that impacts your posture. When we are like this, sitting like this, slouched, we don't feel powerful. When we are sitting feeling tall and our shoulders are back, automatically we feel very powerful. Isn't that wonderful? We can make those shifts right away. So physically, what you can do if you do want to live as your full potential, your true self, if there's some things, I'll just use an example from my own personal life. If you are stuck in a relationship that is not for you, and you feel like I have no energy to leave this, start watching what you eat. Consume only things that are good for your stomach, that are good for your digestion system. Bring a little bit of discipline there, and you'll be surprised how fast things will change for you. And then another thing you can do, and also if you start exercising and working on your core, that is going to give you another extra boost. And this we are talking about just enough boost to get out of here, and slowly we'll be also getting to the level of that infinite power. Another thing you can do, which is also a good shortcut, I'm telling you, this energy center, your navel energy center, put your palm on top of your uh, belly button and take 10 deep breaths, imagining there's light coming from your hand going into your navel. You'll be surprised if you are hesitant in any area of your life, how much more energetic or energized or motivated or persistent you will feel in that area. You'll be surprised how fast it will happen. Because what we are doing, we are kind of using a cheat sheet to give a boost to your navel. In your whole human body, if your navel is strong, no one can take that power away from you. The power to act, the power to move forward, the power to do whatever you desire to do. But if you got digestion issues, if you got no exercise going on and your navel is really weak, you will feel like you're a leaf floating in the air. You're just going with the flow and you have no control over your life. That's exactly how it feels. And I'm talking from personal experience. When I found myself stuck, my diet was ice cream, sugary um, yogurt cups, candies, Oreos, lots of starches, and a little bit protein somewhere. As I started doing the healing work within me, over me, started learning, my food intake changed. And right now I eat so different that if the Alia from past came and she'll be shocked that I eat this way. Just making that one change is going to transform how much inner power you feel. Now let's go to the next one. We are really going on a tier higher, and then we'll go to the infinite level. The second one is psychological. Now, how do we keep our power in terms of the way we think or in our psychological well-being? It hides in the story we tell ourselves about ourselves. So I would really recommend you to take this exercise with you. If you're watching it on recording, you can pause it here and write down on top of a piece of paper, what are the stories I tell myself about myself? Or what are the stories I tell other people about myself? Now, I can share with you that my son was eight-week old, 2 months. That is the day I knew that in the future I'll be getting a divorce. My son was 6 years old when it actually happened. What was the difference? The situation didn't change. Everything stayed the same. What changed? I changed. That lady who was 6 years back into the past, she was telling herself, I can't do it. I can't do it. That is the only thing she was telling herself all day long. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. What are the stories you tell yourself about whatever you want to do? Maybe you're working a 9 to 5 job, you want to work on a passion, you want to create something. Maybe you want to open a business. Maybe you want to open this amazing cafe. Maybe you want to bring awareness to the world about something that you have found within you. Maybe you want to leave a relationship. Maybe you want to get into a relationship and you feel like you just can't. I mean, last year I worked on myself, the stories I was telling myself about remarrying, about being in a relationship all over again. And once I got hold of that, I got that power happen very fast. The wonderful thing when we worked on our inner world, when we work on healing parts of us, when in the past, something that took me 6 years might take me only a few weeks now, in few days. In fact, I went through a massive, massive release in my life. In the past, it took almost 6 years to release one person. Now it took 10 weeks to release five. So that is the difference when we have built enough inner power or have access to that infinite power within us. When you would start telling yourself stories that feed into your power, and realizing that you have the free will to tell yourself story. You can tell yourself stories of misery. They're very addictive. Or you can tell yourself stories of glory. You are in control what happens within you. You'll be surprised how telling yourself stories of glory is going to take you to your next level. Telling yourself stories of misery is going to keep you stuck wherever. The whole physical experience we live is such a big illusion, but you are in control. You have the free will to tell yourself the story that you want to tell yourself. Now, of course, we can go much deeper into why you're telling yourself that story, why I was telling myself I can't, what was the psychological backing I had to that. Maybe I didn't trust myself. I have never seen myself stand up for myself. So I thought, how could I do it? And I had to build all those deeper layers. That is, of course, much deeper work. If you want to do that, you can always reach out to me and I can assist you in that and in that deep dive in healing your relationship. But when you're stuck in a moment and you want to connect with that infinite power within you, choose the story wisely. First, ask yourself, what is the story I'm telling myself? The trick, my friend, here is we tell ourselves stories unconsciously. Most of us are not even aware of the thoughts that are playing in our mind. Our energy is so spread out that we don't even know what's going on in our mind. We just keep going with the flow. So pause and ask yourself, what are the stories I'm telling myself that are taking away all the power? Because what is happening now, that story has the power. So when you choose to tell yourself a different kind of story, a story that comes with so much power, one of my favorite phrases became, I can and I will. I can and I will. I adopted this in 2021 when I started working with one of my current mentors. The most recent mentors. I can and I will. And even till this day, when I feel I'm getting stuck or when walls are closing on me, I just tell myself, I can and I will. And you'll be surprised how much more you're able to share than you think you're sharing right now. We all are infinite energy beings, just animating this physical body. So if you think you have created so much in your life, that's not even 1% of what you're capable of creating. And we get stuck in a little bit, this one amazing project we did, we get stuck in it. Oh my God, look at me, how amazing I did. That's not even a fraction of the power that is within you. So the second layer is, one is take care of your navel. Second is tell yourself the story that is needed to make whatever you want to make happen. For example, I'll share very quickly with you. When I was preparing for this workshop today, this love circle today, an amazing idea came to me. It's like because if you are not familiar with that, Love Circle, the way I present it right now, will be ending at the end of December, end of this month. We have only a couple of more to go. And in January, something new will be coming, which I have no idea, but I am open to receive it. And something just all came together. And it felt so big. It felt like it's so much bigger than me. I don't think so. I can do it. That is the moment where I was not connected with my inner power. So I paused and I asked myself, what is the story you want to tell yourself? I can and I will. That simple. It's not complicated to connect with our power. It's not. Our mind makes it complicated that, oh my God, maybe I have to wake up at 5 a.m. and do this and do that and then stand on one leg for like 50 minutes and be under a tree. None of that. It's very easy. It exists right now. In this moment, you can get hold of yourself. That's all. Forget about the last 3 hours you were stuck in misery. In this moment, tell yourself the story that is needed to achieve whatever you want or to go wherever you want. My favorite one is I can and I will. Now, let's get to the last one. That is my most favorite one. And I do have a tiny bit of meditation for you guys too that you can take with you, and that is spiritual. Living with the awareness that you Your truth is a soul living in a human body. Our body consciousness is so powerful. We get so attached with it. We'll get so attached the way we look, the way our body is, how fat we are, how thin we are, what do we need to work on, how do I want to dress, how do I want to look, what do I need to eat now, what I don't want to eat now. We get so attached to the body consciousness that we forget. My truth is the soul that is animating the body. Me and you are not the body. I'm not the body. I'm the soul that is animating this machinery that everybody else gets to see, that can talk, that can hear, that can taste, that can touch, that can smell. The more you invite this awareness in your day all day long, it's almost like pulling the power back home. So when someone comes to you and they say something to you that's not very positive, in that moment, instead of going into the victimhood and instead of going into like, oh my God, I'm never going to achieve something, look at me, what a loser I am. In that moment, if you just stay aware in this truth, I'm the soul. Soul cannot be touched, harmed, or even killed. And soul cannot be contained. It's infinite. That is your truth. And how would you learn this truth? By reminding yourself every single day, multiple times a day. It would be wonderful to live with that truth all the time. I personally, when I tap into that, I can go few minutes in that consciousness and then it drops again. And then I pick it up again, reminding myself I'm the soul and not the body. I'm the soul and not the body. Because body is run by ego, it's run by I'm not good enough, I am not complete, I need to have all these things ready before I can go there. Body needs to feel safe, body needs to feel heard, body needs to feel seen. All of that exists in the body consciousness. Now, once again, a disclaimer, as I said in the beginning, now this level of connecting with the infinite power that is within you is not for those people who have not built the foundational pieces of trusting themselves, listening to themselves, seeing themselves, hearing themselves. Because first step is befriending the body, and the second step is overriding the body. If you have not befriended the body and you're trying to override the body, you're just waiting, you're just building a house of cards that can collapse anytime. And that is where a lot of people go into burnout because they maybe just saw somebody doing something. They did not understand the consciousness or the inner work they have done to get there. They just copied another human, collapsed after a year or two. Do build those inner layers within you where you trust yourself, you see yourself, you hear yourself, and then you can go beyond the need for other to see you, for other to hear you, others to validate you. That is when you can truly step into that, I would say, dimension where you can say, I am the soul, not the body. But first step is to take care of the body. So there's a small visualization that I would invite all of you to participate in and just take with you. You can close your eyes and take a deep breath. And you can do this whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, whenever you feel like this life is too much, you can't have one more of this and that. Take a deep breath and realize you are the soul, as if you're sitting in this big, comfortable, cozy chair. And you can imagine the chair you want to imagine as if you're sitting in it. And as if you're the machine and you're the projector, and then there's a movie coming out of you. You're projecting something in front of you, a hologram. And that is your human body. And if you cover it, if you cover your forehead, you're not letting the light through, the hologram disappear. Some of us call that death. And if you just put your hand down, there is a hologram that feels all kind of things, that feels hungry, that feels it needs friends, that feels it needs to be loved, that feels someone it's not enough, that judges itself. But you're the soul sitting in this comfortable big chair, projecting this image in front of you. And you can also change it. You can transform it. You can change it to a different image. You have the control. How does it feel to be this powerful soul sitting in this comfortable chair and being so in control and so infinite and so safe that you can make anything happen, that you're bigger than any physical thing that is in front of you, that you have the access to the infinite power, the infinite light that is required to project out anything within you. How does it feel to be that powerful being that you are? Stay in that feeling, because power is a feeling. Stay in that feeling of safety and control and the power to create. And then open your eyes and look at your life as if you're still that soul sitting in that very beautiful, comfortable chair. How does your same life or same problem or the same situation feels to you now? Do you feel something has shifted? And if you're able to come with me where I took you, you will see that something has shifted within you. Even if it happened for a second you felt like I can make it happen. And then again, body consciousness took over and it's like, how can you do this? You don't have this resources. You don't have that resources. Look at this. What would this person will think? Like all that will come back. But that 1 second connection that you had, that is your connection to the infinite power. Now, that is something you'll nurture every single day. You can also reach out to me and I can take you through a deeper journey of how to connect with that inner power and stay connected with that inner power. Because what truly disconnects us from that inner power is the gunk that is, we're just holding on to. Past traumas, things we didn't forgive ourselves for, things that we judge ourselves for. Like it's almost like there's a wedge between you and this powerful being that you are. And once we clean that all up, and once we start to live in that alignment with the soul that we are, you feel infinite. You be infinite. You move as if you're infinite. And that is when, anything from this physical world come in your face, you're bigger than it. You're way bigger than it. And once again, my friend, whatever I teach it from a place of embodiment. These are exactly the things I have worked on within me that have, helped me move the way I move now, to deal the way I deal with my relationship now, and to be able to take massive actions in my own personal life and also a professional life as well. It really does work. You do become a person that no one can control. You do become a person that does not really look for validation outside of them because you're connected with your own truth. Now, that is all, my friend. If this is something, again, you want to learn on a deeper level, or you want to, you really want to connect with this infinite being that you are, you can always reach out to me. You can DM me. If you're watching it on recording, you can go to my website, aliajamalcoaching.com, and you can book a consultation with me. And with that, I'll see you all next week. Sending so much love. Bye.